The main reason for me, probably, is that at Compassion in World Farming, we hate factory farming. We hate it with a passion. And the problem for us so often is that people don't know that it's going on. It happens behind closed doors. People drive in the countryside, they see sheep in the fields, they see cows in the field, they think everything's rosy. And it's because of the work of people like you that focus on live animal transport. Live animal transport that is the public face of factory farming, because people see those transport lorries on the motorway. Thanks to you, they see it in the news, they see it in the press, they see your protests at the port. This is a living, vibrant issue that puts the spotlight on what happens to farm animals when they're treated as commodities as a whole. So that's one reason why it's fantastic to be here and see you all. But that's not actually probably it. That's probably not the main reason. The second reason is that whenever I come here, it makes me realise that we can and we do win these fights. At the moment, one of my colleagues from our legal team is on a plane coming back from Beirut. Many of you who've followed the live animal transport campaigning throughout Europe will know that Europe transports 3 million animals every year out of Europe, mainly to North Africa and the Middle East, where they meet the most brutal forms of slaughter you can imagine. Sadistic is not too big a word to use for it. And as part of our campaign against that, we have managed to close the notorious Karantina slaughterhouse in Beirut. And I know a lot of the people here were part of the closure of that, and my colleague's been over there talking to the government of the Lebanon about the next steps to make sure this doesn't happen again. Also, many of you know that as we are standing here, in Nepal, the second biggest ritual slaughter of animals is taking place right now. The Gadamai festival, which normally sees over 250,000 animals, mainly buffalo, hatcheted to death with machetes. I know again a lot of you have been campaigning against us to stop this, and we can report that certainly we've reduced the number of animals making it there by tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And I can report that Nepal is feeling the pressure. Many of you joined us in London. We have Britain's most respected figure in Nepal with us, Joanna Lumley, knocking at the door of the Nepalese embassy saying this had to stop. We have people knocking at the door of 80% of Nepal's embassies throughout the world, and I believe there is a very real chance that this will be the last Gadamai festival. Our investigators are there now. They're beaming back the images. They're on the website. I hope we'll be able to report good news there. So this, to me, brings back the message that these fights are winnable. We do win them. But here, above all, is where Compassion's heart lies on this. This is more than a strategic move to highlight the perils of factory farming. This is more than talking about the bigger struggle of live animal transport. This is about Kent. I've got a picture in our office of our founder. We were founded 50 years ago by a dairy farmer from Hampshire, and there's a photograph taken of him in the early 70s, and he's at the port at Dover, and he's got a banner in his hand, and he's surrounded by other supporters, and you can see the intensity of the debate he's having with a local official. That was back in the early 70s, and we've seen this movement grow here. As Yvonne says, we've seen the trade shrink from something that was counted in millions to something that was counted in hundreds of thousands to something that's counted in tens of thousands. And that, to us, is what it's about. It's not just about a world struggle, it's about the animals going through this port, and it's about the examples you guys set, and that is superb. Thank you so much. So to us, this is about animal suffering, but it's also about a personal grudge that we have against the live animal transport going out of here. To those people who were invited who didn't come, to those political parties who could have been up here speaking, well, shame on you. Although you give us all the right rhetoric, you stand up in Parliament, you say that really you'd love to end this trade, you really think there's no place for it, but what can we do? You know, Europe demands it. How can we stand up to them? As we're seeing so many politicians fall over themselves just at the moment to show how well and how strong and how big they can be standing up to Europe, if you were here now, if you looked into those transport trucks as they go through Ramsgate, if you spoke to the people here about what they see on a daily or a weekly basis, you might just learn something. You would be here with us now campaigning against this. This trade is wrong and you would be with us. So on that final point, I'd like to thank you for everything that you do to motivate a bigger movement and for everything that you do to stop the live animal transport going from here. You're an inspiration to us all and I want to thank you. Like I said, it's great to see you.